In a mountain valley, deep in rural France, some climbers one day decided to explore deep inside a cave. They discovered a bunch of stalagmites that had been broken off and placed in very specific shapes and circles. Alongside that, there was evidence of fire, clearly evidence that something or someone with some intelligence and creativity had been there before. This cave was in a valley full of caves, many of them with cave paintings. However, this cave was special. The Bourniquel cave, in my terrible French accent, has remained a mystery since the day it was discovered 25 years ago. Who the hell built such a structure deep inside a cave? It couldn't have been natural, couldn't have been a bear or a wolf. Clearly, it was a community of very intelligent, creative beings. Recently, a group of scientists decided to crack the mystery once and for all. They realised that nobody had bothered to carve and date the artefacts, and when they did, they discovered something truly mind-blowing. The unnatural, man-made structures predated Homo sapiens arriving in Europe. That leaves only one reasonable explanation for who could have built these incredible structures. Clearly, it was aliens! Sorry, did I say aliens again? Fuck, I really need to stop doing that, man. It was Neanderthals. Neanderthals, it was definitely Neanderthals. Neanderthals existed in Europe far before we did. They lived in small communities, made tools, and evidence in these caves shows they must have had a flair for the creative as well. These spaces serve not for sleeping or eating, but some kind of sacred spaces, possibly for music and art around the campfire. Pretty cool, right? But it gets cooler. If Neanderthals had a flair for the creative, and we humans clearly do too, then we must share a common ancestor which predates both of us. Creating music, art, technology, spirituality. Being creative is literally older than humanity itself. Let's fast forward just a few millennia to 2008. You might remember there was a little itty bit of financial trouble back in 2008. Basically, it was caused by banks being reckless and betting far too much, far too little. They caused the meltdown of the entire financial global system and risked the lives and livelihoods of many billions of people. Our governments decided the best course of action was to bail out the banks. Despite the fact they were the problem, they caused the issue. We all had decades of austerity to face right across Europe and the world, causing many thousands of deaths and many millions to be thrown into abject poverty. This wasn't our fault, yet we bore the price. Yet we were told the bankers were too big to fail. All of this is an interesting parallel to today, 2021. Here we are, after probably the craziest year in many of our lives, when now the UK and much of Europe is going into a third and sometimes a fourth lockdown. There is a belief that is being peddled by the powers that be that artists, creatives and musicians are expendable, despite the fact that the arts is one of the most productive, profitable and valuable industries in the world. We were told that we were unviable. Unviable, you say? When you put all this together, it makes for an interesting story, doesn't it? Not much more than a decade ago, the bankers brought about the almost complete demise of the entire planet. Yet, they were too big to fail. However, artists and musicians have been strung out to dry. Why is that? Banking is a relatively new concept in terms of human evolution. Creativity and art is literally older than humanity itself. We've been doing it since before we were human. And yet here we are being suffocated. again and again and again. Ignored again, again and again. Pushed to the sides again, again and again. Just for 1 minute, imagine the world tomorrow had no art, no music, no creativity. Imagine this lockdown, imagine life in general, with no music, no movies, your life with no colour, everything grey. Advertisers know the best way for us to connect is through music and art. That's why they subterfuge it in order to turn us into consumers, to buy loads of shit. But where does this world take us? A world geared towards the manifestation not of beauty, emotion or connection with ourselves and with the stars, but instead to manifest a world where our only role is to consume. Consume each other, consume the animals, consume the planet. Just consumers, killing, eating and farting our ways towards a zombie apocalypse.
We meditate. Deep breathing exercises really release the spiritual toxins from your body.
Except it won't be caused by a virus, because in this scenario, we are the virus. We are the fucking virus, aren't we? Sorry about that. Got a bit dark there. Look, the point I'm trying to make is that creativity, art and music is older than humanity itself. We need it. It is an essential service. Now more than ever, we need to support the arts. We need to support those who are providing an essential service for all of us, who are keeping us alive. Those people cannot be abandoned any further. The government should be giving a massive bailout package just like they did to the bankers. If the bankers were too big to fail, then maybe the arts are too good to succeed. They fear the arts. They fear the power that we have when we are connected, when we are together, when we can share our voices. There is some light. There is some things that we can do. So here's 10 things that me and you together. 10 things that we can do and make the world light and beautiful once more. Number 1, just listen to loads more music and art. It's that simple. Just listen. Musicians and artists haven't stopped creating. We're pumping stuff out all the time. It's everywhere. In fact, probably more now than there ever has been in the history of humanity. Actively seek out artists that you like, that you support, and listen to their new stuff. It's fucking brilliant. I promise you. You're not just a number. In fact, now that gigs and content and relationships have had to go online, artists and musicians and creatives are sitting there waiting to connect with you. Número 2. Subscribe and click that button below. Do it for this video, but also do it for every video. Any video that you're watching on YouTube. So if you like it, you know that other people are going to like it. So don't just be that guy that consumes and doesn't give back. Click the like button, click the subscribe button. Be a good guy. Number 3, tune into live streams. Loads and loads of artists, musicians are doing loads of live streams. They're putting all their energy and work that they would have been putting into doing gigs. Instead, they're doing these live streams. You can get a ticket quite often for less than £5 to see a gig in the comfort of your own home, in your own jammies. You don't even have to wear underwear if you don't want to. Number 4, share. Every single one of us has to recognise that we have a platform. You have your own platform. Use it. Use it for good. If you like something, this video for example, or any video that you've seen recently, any piece of music that you've listened to on Spotify, on SoundCloud, on Bandcamp, if you share that on your platform, even if 2-3 people listen to it that didn't listen to it before, that is huge. That is huge. You're making a massive difference and you're literally making the world a better place. More good shit. Share the good shit. That is. Pay it forward. If you have some extra money that you would have otherwise spent on entertainment, like going to a gig, like going to the pub, if you can afford to, pass it on. Pass it on to the people creating the content that would have been in that pub. Number 6. Become a supporter. So many artists, musicians, creators right now have amazing programs running, membership programs, Patreon pages. All of these incredible things offer you amazing content that is specifically for you as a subscriber. Whatever you can afford, whatever you give in, you get back in platitudes. Not only that, you're directly supporting someone who needs your help to continue to create, who's had their lifelines shut down by the pandemic, by the government, by the world in the state it's in just now, and yet they continue to create because they have to, because it's in their fucking soul, but they still have bills to pay. Unfortunately, that's the world we live in. We do not have a universal basic income yet. Until we do, we need to support each other. Number 7! If you really appreciate somebody's work, take the time and send them a message. Send them a DM, a PM, and tell them that you're listening and that you appreciate them. That moment is what makes it worth everything, particularly just now when we don't have any face-to-face connections. To receive something like that is incredibly powerful for any content creator. Don't think that it's embarrassing or artists don't want to hear from you. I promise you they do. Tell them what their work means to you. Number 8. Now is the time to agitate, protest in solidarity with those who have been oppressed unfairly by a system that protects the privileges of some and denies the rights of others. There's many movements all around the world, all around Europe, in the UK, trying to get more support for the creative industries in particular, but for lots of industries, for lots of people who are suffering in our communities. If you have time and you have some energy, use it to agitate and protest on behalf of those who maybe don't have a voice or need your support in order to make a difference. Number 9. Become an organiser. We don't need expensive venues, we don't need big budgets, we don't need to be a promoter with lots of connections. All of it's online just now anyway. You can provide a platform and host some artists. Number 10. And finally, be creative. If ever there was a time to get off our arses and make something mad, do something special, something we've always wanted to do but never had the time or the energy or the confidence, now is the time! If you used to make music but you've been out of the game for a while, get back into it. If you wanted to learn an instrument but you never had time or the money, go buy that fucking instrument and do it. If you've got stuff going on in your head that's driving you up the wall, get it out. Artists and musicians and creatives aren't some weird subsect. It's all of us. Every single one of us. We are all artists, born artists. We were artists before we were human, before we even moved to Europe. We were artists in the savannas of Africa. We are still artists. We cannot let that part of us die. So let it thrive within, let it thrive outside, out with. Let's do everything we can to support our brothers and sisters to get through this tough time. And together, we'll make it beautiful, like we always do. For now, thank you for watching. As always, remember to click the like button and the subscribe button and all the buttons underneath, and I'll see you all for the next one. AYYA, AYYA.